Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I am Gigi Fruit Loop. What you know?
Um, I don't know. I always try to think of something really good to say, and I never have anything. I'm
Just
like,
coming up empty, huh?
yeah, I don't know.
Well, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Two Cool T-shirt Quilts. If you're on YouTube, you can look behind me and see some examples of the amazing work that Andrea does. My parents, we have a house at the beach. They've been down there for a couple of weeks, and my mom came home and she was blown away with this
Yeah,
quilt. She's already making plans to get her a few made. So if
yeah.
you guys want to get a really cool quilt that's just, I mean, one of a kind is pretty cool. I
Oh
think
yeah.
something that's very personal and has meaning other than just going to Target and buying a blanket. Go to twocooltshirtquilts.com/pretty lies and alibis. And what can they do, Fruit Loop?
They can take your t-shirts and make them into a quilt that is too cool. I'll tell
Yes,
you
they
another
can.
thing that was interesting. Like their website walks you through the whole process.
Yeah, it's really
Like
cool. You
it's
guys need to just go see how
yeah,
they do this.
yeah. And one thing is a twin size quilt can use 30 to 40 t-shirts.
That's insane.
And that's a lot of t-shirts. But it's the way they make them.
Mhm.
Um, they're puzzled together with multiple size blocks, so they can fit a lot of t-shirts into a smaller
Well,
quilt.
you can see, and I showed on the really
Mhm.
detailed video that's up on our YouTube page and on our social media, how it may be a small little block, but it's just it's got a point. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
purposeless. It adds to
yeah,
the whole quilt. I love it. We're
yeah.
having an 80s movie night tonight here at the house, so we're
Uh,
breaking that bad boy out because we can all fit under it.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make the kids. I haven't decided. I'm thinking Grease 1 and Grease 2 because Grease is literally my all-time favorite movie.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Or Nightmare on Elm Street and the Lost Boys.
Dude, you do Nightmare on Elm Street, Sarah gonna be sleeping with you.
I don't know. She's grown up a lot though. Like she's
I,
not afraid of that
ah,
stuff anymore. Look, the first Nightmare on Elm Street freaked me out, but Johnny Depp is in it and he's young and he's hot.
yeah,
So, anyways, or the other option is maybe Dirty Dancing and The Breakfast Club. So I don't know. We may have to just pull one out of a hat because
oh
nobody's
yeah,
agreeing. Although
yeah.
I'm leaning towards Grease. The last time Taylor and I watched Grease, she said, "Are we really supposed to believe these are high schoolers?" She said, "Rizzo looks like she's in menopause."
That's true. They are old.
Oh yeah, it's good. We want to give a big thank you to Lori Hellis because this morning I wake up and I'm reading her newest newsletter and she gave us a shout out. So we appreciate that, Lori. If you guys are not subscribed to her newsletter,
Yeah,
we put it on our social media. Please go sign up because for those of us who aren't lawyers and don't know the law inside and out, she really breaks it down and makes it super easy to understand and answers a lot of questions that we have. So
yeah,
check her out and we love her. She's a great person
yeah,
and she does a lot of stuff with hidden true crime, which is always interesting.
yeah. But she does break it down really easy and
It's
it makes
awesome.
sense. Yeah,
So, we're going to jump into these new Gilbert documents that are relating to the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux. Now, we know just earlier this week, Lori and Chad both were indicted for attempted first degree murder. Alex, of course, is dead, but had he been alive, he would have faced the same charges. Nothing for Melanie Pulowski as of now. Don't know what's up with that. Everybody seems to be very surprised, but it's still open. So we'll see.
yeah,
One thing I read right before we came on, and we're going to get through all these documents eventually, but they did an interview with Melanie Pulowski's dad, Stephen Cope. And one little snippet from his interview is he said he had information that when Alex was 19, he got a girl pregnant back east and never took responsibility for it.
wow.
That's kind of, man, you have to wonder. I'm sure whoever if it's true, this person may be seeing the news and going, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right. So we're going to jump in. We will add, like we've been doing with the Chandler documents, we may add something we've already talked about just for context. So this kind of starts back in February 25th of 2018, and they just make some notes that Melanie Gibb becomes Zulema's visiting teacher. Whatever. I assume that may be like a church thing. And then in October of 2018 is when Melanie Gibb introduces Zulema to Lori and Chad at the Preparing a People conference in Utah. I posted the flyer for that the other day. I came across it, and it's really weird to look at it because you see all the speakers and Chad's in there, and it
Mhm.
says it's telling people to come because it just may change your life. And I thought, wow, that was kind of foreboding because
Yeah.
it changed a lot of people's lives, just not in a good way.
Yep.
So, anyways, October 30th, 2018 is the first time that Chad emails Lori with a document about the Church of the Firstborn. This is what had the light and the dark scales. So we're gonna go over a few of the important people. Alex was a 2 light. Tylee was a 4.1 dark. JJ was a 4.2 light. Melanie Pulowski was a 3 light, and Brandon was a 3 dark. So around the time of this email, so around October 2018, is when Melanie Pulowski started spending more time with Lori. So we're going to jump to January of 2019. January 11th, 2019. Zulema has a vision that she could create storms and fire and will have the eye of the Lord, whatever that means. January 30th is when Lori withdraws the $35,000 from Charles's bank account, and that's also the same day that Chad does the first searches for Ned Schneider. February 4th and 5th, Lori gets new phone numbers, and this is also the same day that Charles files the order of protection against her. February the 6th, Lori tells Zulema that Charles blocks her gifts. May the 3rd, Zulema texts Chad that she heard a voice saying that someone in Lori's family is going to die. May 21st, Lori tells the group that she can't do a conference call because she's being monitored and it's not safe for her. So the group is Zulema, Lori, Melanie Gibb, Melanie Pulowski, Serena, Christina, and Nicole. We know towards probably the middle of all this, Serena, Christina, and Nicole bolt because it starts getting weird. May 29th, Zulema texts Lori, I will go in spirit when the bomb goes off, and I'll be there to see JJ's spirit to go to the presence of the Lord. Then I and the angels will protect the bodies and not allow for them to be possessed by evil. Lori says, perfect. I found out there are four, and I think she means entities in Charles. One is a level 4 entity. His name is Eplos. The H is silent. The other 3 are level 3s. Let's do this. So for context, we hadn't heard this first text with Zulema where she says she will be there to see JJ's spirit go to the presence of the Lord. This is the day that they are texting back and forth, that they're shooting fire and lights and all that at Charles, and they acknowledge JJ's in the car. So now you see that Zulema thinks that her powers could possibly kill JJ.
Yeah. I mean, when the bomb goes off,
I don't know. Whack a doodle.
like that one sentence is for her. I'll be there when his spirit goes to the presence of the Lord. Like,
I mean, I think she's just anticipating that if this stupid text messaging sending the elements works, she acknowledged that JJ was with Charles at the time. So I'm guessing that she assumes he will be killed because they're having to do this to kill Charles. That's kind of how I interpret it.
okay, my immediate thing, now I know this is a bunch of phooey, but if you think that's what you're doing, I mean, you're going to kill a human being.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's too bad that fake powers can't cause you to get some charges.
Yeah.
But I mean, clearly she didn't care that JJ was there in her mind. She was so powerful. She was going to kill Charles from Arizona to Texas. Yeah. I mean, that really shocked me because, she tries to play along as if, oh, I had no idea about any of these. I had no idea they were evil. But yet she's acknowledging in May of 2019 that JJ could be killed with her powers, is what I'm interpreting it as. I could be wrong.
Yeah. So later that day, Zulema texts Lori again. I encapsulated them with invisible hidden capsules that will close and capture them as soon as the bomb goes off and they leave the body. I also created a safe path guarded by warrior angels for Jonas to come and bind them and take them away as soon as they exit the body. I have a good feeling about this. I saw myself protecting the bodies. The next day, May 30th, Lori texts Zulema, I would love it, but I'm out of town. I'm not going to the conference, but thought it was important to my friendship with Melanie to go to Utah with her. I'm hoping to have a reason soon to have to go back to Texas. Working on that now. I'm told he can't stay in there more than 5 days, so it has been 2. I'm told our time bomb is in effect, and it's only a matter of time and circumstance.
There's that I'm told again, which
Yeah.
I'm not skirting responsibility for Lori by no means, but the I'm told was something that was brought up in every
Mhm.
document dump pretty much.
Yeah. Zulema responds, I have a feeling that you will have a reason to go back very soon. I'm continuing to send storms of fire, fire lightning, fireballs, the light of Christ, and the love of HF as our
Yeah.
biggest weapons against them soon, very soon. I'm telling you, this stuff is like,
If I read this and didn't know the situation, I think these people were dropping some crazy acid and then texting each other.
yeah, yeah. It's almost like you're playing a video game with your friends. Couch co-op.
Those were fun, though.
It
We
was
used to do
fun.
that.
Yeah, it was fun. So June 1st, Zulema to Chad. I just did some work on Iplos. I'm holding this intention and asking for the Lord to complete it. Chad, Lori texts me about what Julie Clement saw about Iplos, looking like a dragon, frightening but fascinating. June 2nd, Lori texts Zulema, and this is when they're doing the fire and lights to cause Charles to have a wreck. July 2nd, Chad texts Zulema, I'm very happy to find out these estates. You and Lolo have done amazing work. Mother Earth is so grateful to you both. Thank you as well for your help with Iplos. He is so very close. July 8th, 2019, Melanie and Brandon began divorce proceedings after Melanie made multiple accusations about Brandon's private and personal life. And we know there was a lawsuit on that, right?
Sorry, I was responding to a text and not paying attention. What
So
would you ask me?
remember the lawsuit that Brandon won?
Yeah,
Like,
that
wasn't
was
it
against
defamation
her
of character or
lawyer.
something? Yeah,
That was against her lawyer where he had put some things out in the press that was just
yeah,
slander.
yeah,
He won a ton of money.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was millions.
yeah, yeah. So July 8th, Lori texts Zulema, ask if we can call up a California earthquake for tomorrow. Iplos will be heading there tomorrow in Valencia. Sadly, he is still okay, but we're going to continue to work on him. The elements will obey eventually.
So Zulema texts Lori, I had to get home so I could go in my portal out there. I asked if we could do the ramifications of the things to come we are not ready for at this time. For what I understand is that when Iplos goes, things are going to be a domino effect, one thing after another. What do we need to do to be ready for all that is coming?
That's a true statement, but they caused it.
Exactly. And that's what I thought when I read this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a domino effect, but
Yeah, you started killing everybody.
yeah, you're doing it yourself. The
Yeah,
ramifications are going to be legal.
yeah.
So the next day, which is July the 9th, Lori replies, I feel we are ready, just doing the things we are asked daily as our powers increase and our vibrations increase. Zulema says, okay, then it was my fear that things will roll out way fast from now on. Lori says, no, that's true, but it's also good. 2 days after this text exchange is when Charles is murdered. So Brandon, excuse me, Brandon was talking with Charles kind of off and on, and Charles warned Brandon that Melanie was spending too much time with Lori, and he thought that Lori was manipulating Melanie, which led to the divorce. And we see that with
Mm-hmm.
Zulema. So Chad tells Zulema, kind of early on, she's dating this guy, and he says he's dark, he's putting a cage around you. So she breaks up with him.
Yeah.
One thing that and we're not there yet, but this just popped in my head. I'm reading this interview with Ian Pulowski's sister. What happened was Melanie had come down to Arizona Thanksgiving in 2019 to have, but check this out. According to Ian's sister, they had only met the week before through this online dating service. And then she learns on the way back to Idaho, they got married. I think they knew each other like maybe less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was. I remember that when we.
Okay, because I these things get lost for me sometimes, all these little details. But I was just like, dude, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then remember, like their wedding nights when she's kind of getting all crazy, and he's probably sitting there thinking, "Oh my gosh,
what did I do?" Yeah.
Yeah. So Melanie was the sole beneficiary of Brandon's life insurance policy. He continued to pay for that even though they were getting divorced. One thing they note is that Charles's Jeep was parked in the garage the day he was murdered. And we knew Tylee had driven that Jeep to school, but she disenrolled in August of 2019 prior to the move up to Rexburg. So July 13th, 2019, Lori texts Chad and asks him to clear Melanie's house of all these bad spirits. And Chad said he was working on it, but had to break down all these bad spirits that Brandon had created. The same day is when Brandon moved his personal belongings out of his and Melanie's house. Initially, they agreed to have 50-50 custody while they were going through the divorce. So July 18th, 2019, Lori texted Chad when she learned Charles had changed his beneficiary to Kay. Lori ends the text with, "I love you. This is terrible, but it's probably another step in bringing down I think it's Gadianton, especially Brandon. A Gadianton is a member of a secret criminal organization in ancient America, according to the Book of Mormon." So in the middle of August, Lori shows up at Colby's workplace. I think he worked at a gym, and told him that they were going to move. So the next day, she shows up again unannounced to say goodbye. And at this time, they were all traveling in this blue Nissan Rouge. So later on in the reports, we find out that Lori and Alex give Colby this car actually at Thanksgiving when Melanie comes down to visit Ian's family. They find a lot of bloodstains in this car. It's mainly in the rear passenger area. It's the seat belt, the anchor, so like at the top where they found all kinds of blood stains, and they did some DNA profiles on this. And I think there were 2 females that were contributors. We're going to get into all that. I'm really in the middle of this, but I've always wondered, was there ever any kind of DNA evidence in these cars? And it seems like in Alex's truck and the Blue Rouge that unfortunately Colby was driving. He had to give the car up to be processed. Bless his heart. That had to be so weird and hard and just, yeah.
And you look at it, if something did happen in that vehicle and then you give it to your son.
Yeah. The other thing that was weird was he said that the front passenger seat had a lot of pet hair in it, but they didn't have a pet up there as far as we know.
No, they got rid of the dog.
Right. And that was when Lori went to Texas to move Charles's stuff. Her and Colby picked the dog up. The dog ended up going to Colby and Kelsey's for a while, but they just didn't have the room. It's a big dog. He's a trained medical dog, and I think they lived in an apartment. So,
I wonder if it's not Chad because, he lived on that farm. I bet you they had animals.
It could be, but anyway, So August 31st, Lori and Alex moved to Rexburg, and Lori refers to it as Zion. This next part is very bothersome.
Yeah, this is September 2nd.
These are text messages between Alex and Zulema.
So Zulema to Alex, how was the trip? Alex to Zulema, pretty good considering the dark portal we brought with us. Zulema sends a question mark. Alex says, Tylee, can you call a tornado for a single person? Zulema says, tornado, question mark. Maybe an inner tornado. And Alex said, inner is good. Zulema says, I think you guys will be led to deal with the dark one when it's time. Alex agreed. and in Spanish, es cierto, which is it's true. And I probably messed that up, so I don't speak Spanish.
Were you in Spanish class together?
No, I was in French.
You were in French? Oui, oui.
I was in French, and the teacher at the end of the year said, "Do not sign up to take French too." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
wish I knew a foreign language, but I don't. So that there's a lot of things you can say about that exchange, and none of them are good. But again, you see Zulema, she knows what happens when people are dark spirits because of Charles.
yeah. How can
It,
you say that about your niece?
yeah, I know.
I
I know.
mean,
But then if you're Zulema, how can you sit back knowing what happened to Charles? And not only that, she's saying, yeah, I'll call up an inner tornado for her. And I think you guys will be led to deal with the dark one when it's time.
yeah.
Oh man.
So,
This, I have to say, with the last document dump, I kind of thought Melanie Gibb was more the villainous person than Zulema for some reason. But now I mean, I think that this document dump just tells a bigger tale about her.
oh, this is why she hadn't said anything, and
Yeah,
she's
how can
been
you
quiet the
answer
whole
that?
time.
I mean, how can I hope when she's on the stand that like Pryor rips her a new one with stuff like this.
Yeah.
I would
Well,
actually root for Pryor and be like, "Well, you were saying you would do something that might kill her, an inner tornado. It ain't gonna work, but your intent was the same."
yeah. So picking back up right here, what Alex does after that, he says it's true. September 3rd, Alex sends a picture of a rifle with a scope and tells her he's at a shooting range. Then September 8th, Alex texts Zulema and says he's at Yellowstone with Lori and the kids. And then September 9th, she's murdered.
Yep.
I just think that's horrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to read. A lot of times we get caught in these details of text messages and where they were and what they were doing. And then, it brings it all back to the fact that these two children were brutally murdered for just selfish and stupid reasons. And Charles and Tammy. And, it just brings it back home because you see when they're privately talking to adults, they're wishing death on a kid.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
evil.
And then
Evil.
saying I'll help usher JJ to the Lord. Like,
Twice with both
yeah,
JJ and Tylee.
yeah,
She was quite all right with doing these superpower things that in her mind might cause their death.
yeah,
She was fine with it. No hesitation, like, well, she's 16. She's not dark. She's a kid. What's she done? It's, I
yeah,
can call up an inner tornado.
yeah,
Jeez, man. She's the one that's got to sleep at night. Not, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. So September 10th, Alex and Zulema start referring to Chad as James the Lesser or JTL, with the belief that Chad was Jesus' younger brother in a past life. September 14th at 8:47 p.m., Alex mentions Lori falling asleep with JJ, but they don't say who it goes to. September 17th at 7:11 a.m., Lori texts Zulema that she dropped JJ off so she can meet Zulema at the temple. This is the last time Lori mentions the kids in any communication with Zulema.
So at this point, Tylee has been murdered,
Mm-hmm.
not JJ.
Yep, not yet. So September 17th, Melanie texts Brandon and asks for his new address. So here we go. That's Melanie Pulowski, by the way. September 21st at 9:12 a.m., Lori texts Zulema, FYI, if anybody asks about me or where I've moved, you can just say I moved in with my brother in Queen Creek, especially those who seek my destruction. How are you today? And then Zulema texts back, wait, who's seeking your destruction? And Lori said, lots of people, Serena and Christina in particular, my family and such. And Zulema says, I think that's best that you stay hidden.
Yep. So September 23rd, JJ's murdered. That same day is when Brandon's new lease on his house begins. September the 25th, Alex is confirmed to be in possession of Charles's Jeep. He took the Jeep to a window tinting shop in Rexburg and had the front windows tinted 20% and the rear windows 5%. The percentages, it relates to the amount of light that passes through the window tinting. So those back ones were really dark.
Mm-hmm. Wonder
September,
why.
um,
No,
because
I'm
this
saying.
is, yeah, this is, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, Fruit Loop, are you, where you at, girl? Because you ain't here. Yeah. So this is
Yeah.
obviously in preparation for going to try and murder Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
September 26th, Melanie flies from Mesa, Arizona to Idaho Falls. That same day, Alex activates a burner phone in Rexburg. This is the same number that was connected to his Gmail account. September 28th, Alex goes to Unified Sportsman's Gun Club and he signs the log so they know he was there. September 29th, Melanie flew from Idaho Falls to Mesa, Arizona. Alex's car was near the Idaho Falls airport at 3:05. Her plane defarted. Oh my gosh. That's a brain fart right there. Defarted. Look, you want to laugh so bad because that's what we do. Oh, y'all, I don't feel good. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make it through. Don't you even get me started, Fruit Loop. Oh my God. Oh, we've been doing too much of this. My brain's fried. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You gonna stop giggling so I can keep going?
I'll try to get through it.
Oh my God. I done lost my place. Okay, so her plane departed at 4:10. So we know that Alex took her to the airport. The same day, Alex's wait. September the 30th, the next day, Lori's Gmail search for something. I'm gonna have to cover your face up.
Oh me.
Oh my God. See, look, guys, we've been best friends for 30 years. Our friendship never matured past our ages of 15.
Yeah, I know.
We have the sense of humor of a 15-year-old boy. So September 30th, Lori's Gmail search for something is ridiculous.
This is like when you get tickled in a serious place like church or a mortuary or something, and you can't quit laughing.
I gotta pull it together. September 30th, Lori's Gmail search for something. It's redacted, but clearly it was important. The same day, Alex's cell phone was at Lori's apartment between 11:31 a.m. and 1:16 p.m. He returned to his apartment between 1:17 and 4:32 p.m. He went back to Lori's apartment at 6:01 p.m. and the phone stayed there until October 3rd. So I'm thinking maybe he left his phone at his main phone at her apartment while he went to Arizona and maybe took this burner phone is what I'm thinking.
Yep. So his phone was in Rexburg and he got a call from Chad's burner phone at 12:34. September 30th, Charles's Jeep was driving on Interstate 15 near Blackfoot, Idaho, and that's a city south of Rexburg. This was 37 hours prior to the attempt on Brandon. Google Maps put this drive at 870 miles and 13 hours and 5 minutes straight. October 1st, 6:52 a.m., the Jeep was westbound on I-40 near Holbrook, Arizona. At 9:19 a.m., Alex's burner phone called Chad's burner phone while near Holbrook, Arizona. At 11:55, Alex's burner phone received a call from Chad's burner phone. Alex was just northeast of the Phoenix metro area. This is 21 hours before the attempt on Brandon. October 1st, Brandon and Melanie closed on the sale of their house. October 2nd, the day of the attempted murder of Brandon, 7:17 a.m. to 7:18 a.m., Alex's Gmail again searched for redacted, then searched for directions from his current location. During this time, his location was near the LDS Temple in Gilbert, Arizona, which is 2 miles west of Brandon's home. So that October 1st, Brandon and Melanie closed on the sale of their house.
Which is why Melanie, that's why she was there. I didn't know that. So we didn't know that until we got this. What? I'm sorry.
They sold it, right?
They sold it. So they were there to close on the sale. So you see now, you can't tell me that I have a really hard time believing that Melanie had no clue Alex was coming to shoot Brandon. They
Yeah.
had this very important close.
Yeah.
At the time, they're not divorced. She would still be entitled to his money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything in his bank accounts likely would have went to her.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just more motive.
Oh, most definitely. So at 7:19 a.m., Alex travels to Brandon's address and stays there until 9:17 a.m., which is 118 minutes. Alex and Chad's burner phones communicated multiple times during this time frame. Eyewitnesses confirm a dark-colored Jeep Wrangler with tinted windows, same license plate, and no rear wheel on the back, parked idly on the wrong side of the street immediately west of Brandon's address. So Brandon's statement to police say he left his home with his 4 kids at approximately 7:25 a.m. He returned home at 9:14 a.m. and saw the Jeep parked near his home. He saw the back window open up and saw the muzzle of the gun pointed towards his car, and a shot was fired. Brandon drove away and the Jeep followed him briefly before turning out of the neighborhood.
So I think here's a good place to stop, because
Yep.
then we're going to start getting into cell phones after all this, and that's a whole thing.
Yep.
So, it's like we've said pretty much every single time, the picture becomes more and more clear, just even with the clothes on that house. So many things are starting to fit.
Yep. Yep.
So we have a lot with these documents. And I think what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going back through the Chandler documents and trying to plug in things that fit better. And I'm really trying to make this one big document instead of doing Chandler Gilbert. It's all the same story. It's just, it's going to take some time
Yep.
to sort of plug it all in. But I think that way we're not going back and forth, trying to remember dates and going back in time and forward in time. So I'm going to work on that some this weekend. I'm just planning on taking it easy anyway. So hopefully Monday, we're going to have another big one and just really try to combine the two at this point. And there's just so many little nuggets in here, guys. We're just really starting to get some education on what these knuckleheads were up to.
Yep.
It's like every time you think you have a good grip on it, you get a document dump. And this will probably be the last one for, until after trial, as far as this much. I think they're just ready to be done with this out
Yep.
there.
Oh, I bet so. I would, yeah.
It's consumed all their lives for so long, but I mean, you're going to end up and likely have 2 separate trials. So it's nowhere near done, unfortunately. So anyways, we will have our new missing series tomorrow. That'll be out. We have a really interesting case out of San Francisco, and we are going to do that one for you. It's Ariana Fitz. This is actually a little bit an older case, but very interesting one. So we will have that out tomorrow. Share it on your social media. We saw with Noah Claire that it was somebody who followed this case online that saw something and broke this case. I really do think this Ariana Fitz is live.
Yeah, I do too.
Really do. This doesn't seem like anything that would end up tragic to me. I just have a gut feeling, but some time has passed. She doesn't look the same. So there's a lot of roadblocks in finding this little girl. But anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you tomorrow for our new missing series.